Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was Orochimaru's son with multiple Kekkei Genkais. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was Half Uchiha with a godlike yin-yang abilities, guys. And enjoy that. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And go ahead and check out the movie of What If Naruto fused with the God Tree and went to the DC universe as well, guys. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now, guys. So the last part we left off, Kakashi Hatake felt an instinct took over him, as something was wrong, terribly so he could feel it. Kakashi was still weakened from his fight with Zabuza, as he made his way downstairs. That is when he saw the family, as they were chatting normally, but the closer he got to the door, the closer his instinct flared up. That is when he saw Sakura talking to someone. A red-headed child outside with golden, blue eyes stood there. Kakashi looked towards him as he stepped out. The other two had arrived in the worst possible situation. Kakashi told Sakura to get inside. As something was wrong, the air got tense. Naruto simply smiled as his motives were revealed. He was here to kill the bridge builder. He was attacked by Sasuke and Mito, as they tried to stop him, but they proved to be nothing as Kakashi had to intercept. Kakashi as well was blasted away as he too was weakened against Naruto. Granted, he was weakened from his battle, so his true strength was nowhere close to what he was going at. But at this level, Naruto was simply toying with them. Naruto placed a hand to his chin as he told him that he was severely disappointed. Kakashi was one of his heroes. As he said it with such glee, it seems like he was not right in the head, as he told him that he heard about his exploits during the war, the things that he did, the people that he killed, that he was a demon, a monster, and he wanted to see that monster in full climax. However, Kakashi was weakened. Naruto could not believe that Zabuza did that to him. How could he let someone of Zabuza caliber do that to him? He was severely disappointed in him. However, they still have time though. Kakashi believed that they could still sort this out before anything got too bad as he looked towards the house. That is when a Naruto clone came from underneath the ground. Kakashi saw the bottom of his heel and realized Mokidan. As he was holding the unconscious Sakura, he placed her down and told him that he was not going to hurt her. He already did what he needed to do. He then made his way off. Kakashi could not stop him as he told Mito and Sasuke to stop. He entered the house as he saw the whole family dead. Kakashi was speechless because he didn't hear a sound inside. How did he do that? For one thing though, he had a Mokidan, which should not be possible. They failed this mission terribly as Kakashi felt very saddened by this as he looked towards the family, even Inieri slaughtered. Naruto was angry as he made it back to town. To make Kakashi feel upset about letting him down in the fight, Naruto killed 25 people and laid their body out, and writing Kakashi's name with the body parts. Upon finishing that, Naruto made his way back to Gato. Gato was threatened by Naruto to hand over another briefcase of money. When he didn't comply at first, Naruto sliced his guard's head off, as Gato had to hand it over. With that, Naruto went to a hotel, as the woman there was rather nice to him as Naruto tipped her rather well, as even she was a bit overwhelmed by the amount of money that he was giving her. She told him that he didn't have to tip every time. However, he told her that he liked her. She had no idea that she was talking to one of the most ruthless, deadliest person that ever exists, as Naruto smiled happily at her. So with that, Naruto decided to make his way back after his little relaxing time. That is when he ran into a girl running away. As the girl came across him, as he came across a guy speaking about Jashin. Naruto ended up killing the girl and throwing the body towards the guy, but the guy said that he had to be the one to sacrifice her. His name was Hidan. Both him and Naruto got into a brief scuffle until Naruto stopped, as he was able to take Naruto's blood and wound him, but Naruto simply laughed it off despite the hole that was in his shoulder. However, it quickly attached itself back together. As Naruto asked him about Jashin, Hidan, being one to always want to spread the name of Lord Jashin, sat down and spoke to Naruto about their lord. Well, his lord. As Naruto listened to everything that he said, until he proceeded to trick Hidan as he had rubbed out the circle with his feet. He then chopped Hidan up into little pieces. He then used bones from his arms and pinned Hidan to a tree. He took his sight as he said that he liked it. As Naruto then proceeded to make his way off. Arriving back, Orochimaru asked him where has he been, as Naruto told him that he ran into a bit of some problem, as he showed him the sight, but he did not tell him about Hidan though, as he told him mission complete. With that, Naruto made his way towards one of the hot springs. Teiwai was there as she was rather skittish about being near this individual, as Naruto told her that he was sorry for cutting her throat. He said it so instantly she almost wanted to believe him, but she knew behind those eyes was nothing but darkness, as he gave her money for, well, payback for that. He had a buttload of it as she asked him where did he get so much, as he told her that he got it on his recent mission. She told him that she will still never like him because she feel like he would just kill her for, well, the fun of it. As he told her she was probably right, but he wouldn't do that to her though. Well, now, because, well, he liked her, she was a good person, and he would not kill her, and she was one of his father's elite guards. Teiwai still did not trust him though. She did not trust him in the slightest. So with that, Naruto got cleaned off. His father called him once again and told him that he had a mission for him, as he was sending Naruto towards Take to gather the hero's water. As he gave Naruto the layout and the information, Naruto had a lot of knowledge in his head, as he was a person that could consume so much knowledge and retain it, even something that he learned years ago. He can tell the precise detail and everything. As for Konoha, Hiruzen was informed of this development. Hiruzen was worried that someone out there had the Monkeydan. That should not be possible, but his thoughts instantly went towards Orochimaru. Not to mention the eyes. Those golden eyes. Hiruzen believed that this child was someone that was working for Orochimaru. He did not know the full relationship though. However, Mito was upset about their failure of a mission. She had promised them that she would protect them and save them from Gato, and yet, that bastard, Naruto his name was, she would make sure that he paid the next time she saw him. As for Naruto, he was able to sneak into Take, which wasn't that hard when you know where to look, his father being one of the most dangerous criminals that had been all over the world. So with that, Naruto snuck in and spent the rest of the day gathering information. Meanwhile, Fu was in the chambers. Fu's life was miserable. From a young age, she was treated badly and she was used as a guard dog, that is what they call her. As she didn't have anyone, no friends, no family, as she was always down here guarding hero water. They didn't even send her on missions. She was their secret weapon that she has been trained for, well, her entire life. However, that had turned her views twisted. Fu enjoyed causing people conflict and pain because when she did, she felt more relief as she enjoyed causing people pain, which was something horrible, but she did not care. She had suffered so much that the way to reveal her pain was causing people pain. That is when someone came down there. She was surprised because she has never reached someone that got this far before. What happened to the guards upstairs? As Naruto looked over the cave where the hero water was when Fu attacked him as he jumped away, he looked towards her with a grin as she grinned back at him, as she was about to, well, beat the living crap out of him. She will feel much better once she was done. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place of yourself so to be in this new episode. The ground shattered as Fu feet dug into it. The amount of force that she used to take off was immense. Naruto saw debris and dust as she trailed towards him. She reached him in a second. Naruto was not surprised though. The distance was not that long, but still, she was fast. Her fists breezed through the air like it was a cannon about to knock his head clean off. Another thing about her was that she was extremely strong. She was also able to speak to any insect, giving her contact with Komi inside of her. And maybe it was a physical training or maybe it was an insect trait. They say an ant could lift so much more than his body weight. as Fu was in tune with almost every insect. And maybe it was her natural training that she was put through when she was younger, up till now, making her body incredibly dense and powerful. Her fist split through the ear, inches away from Naruto's face. That is when his hand came up. His hand was dark. Full fist made contact as a tremendous pressure was sent sailing everywhere. However, Naruto did not budge. Fu was shocked. She doubted anyone in this village could take a punch like that from her and keep on standing, but he did not budge. That is when she noticed the color of his arm. His two arms were different. This was one of Naruto's bloodline, the steel release, able to augment and change his body into hard substance that seemed to be unbreakable. Naruto gripped Fu's wrist and applied pressure before he dragged her forward. His other hand got covered in the steel release as he buried it towards her stomach. But to his surprise, she kicked her foot off the ground. As she was now mid-air, she flipped over his hand. She then brought her knee forward and slammed it into his face. In the span of a second, as Naruto staggered back, Fu did not stop though as she flipped over him. Now behind him, she arced her foot through the air, intending to take his head clean off. However, to her shock, he ducked. Fu was caught off guard as she never expected him to duck after that hit to the face. He should be dazing right now. He spun around and slammed a fist in her guts. Fu was blasted. The ground itself was erupted into pieces. Her body boomed and slammed before slamming into the wall. Fu dropped to her knees as she reached up and felt her lip. Blood was leaking from her mouth. She looked up as she rolled away. Naruto's fist collapsed the entire section where she once lay. Fu flipped away as she looked towards him as he smiled at her. "Come on, don't tell me that's all you can do." "Not even close," she said. Fu sprinted towards him as Naruto sprinted towards her. The both of them threw their fists forward, however Fu ducked. She pushed her body low to the ground before she lashed out a brutal kick right towards his groin. However, Naruto twists, but she was not done as she slammed both hands in the ground and kicked him under the chin, lifting his foot off the earth. She then grabbed his heel and slammed him hard, decimating the ground where they stood. She then proceeded to kick him right in the face, blasting him across the water as he slammed right into the wall. She was not done though as she flashed through hand sign. Fu then sunk her hands into the ground. She brought her hand up as a giant earth mallet was formed. She skipped across the water and swung. Boom! She dropped it on him with tremendous force, destroying the area. Fu pulled back as she dropped it on him once again. The more she dropped it, the more a smile came on her face. Every pain that she's went through, she has turned her pain in a sick, twisted way of getting relief by causing pain on others. She then moved back as the mallets in her hand break down into dust. That is when she watched with shock as he rose up, her eyes widened in shock. Naruto's hands were at his side as they swayed with the wind. They seemed to be broken. As Naruto flexed his hands as there was a popping sound, bones popping back into socket. As Naruto twisted his body like he was straightening his spine, he rolled his neck. Fu saw him stood there completely unharmed. "Hey, how old are you?" The question caught her off guard. "What? How old are you?" "Do you understand me?" he said. "Of course I do, you idiot," she said. "What kind of question is that in the middle of a battle? You do know I'm trying to kill you, right?" "Yes, I know. But you haven't been the first, and I'm sure that you won't be the last. So answer my question, how old are you?" "Fine," she said. "A dying man last request." "I'm 14. I'll soon be 15, she said. "Ah. So you're 1 year older than me right now," said Naruto. "I'm 13. That made her eyes narrowed even more. How could he be this strong at such a young age? Her body was put through tremendous training to make sure that she would be the perfect weapon for Taki, and yet he did not fall at her first few strikes. "How are you on your feet? Your body should be broken right now." "Well, if it was any normal shinobi, I'm sure they would be dead right now from internal bleeding, but I'm not normal in the slightest," said Naruto as he cricked his neck. I must say I wanted to see how strong you are, and you did not disappoint. For someone so young, you're really powerful, and I can tell that you're still holding back. Naruto glanced up. It's only a matter of time before the reinforcements arrive, after we start to create real chaos. So let's hurry this up, shall we? Give me everything you got. Fu stomped her feet into the ground as she brought her fist up. She slid her right feet to the left, as she put her left feet a few inches behind it. She held her fist forward, her right fist towards her side. Fine. You want to see what I got? Why don't you come and see, she said. With pleasure, said Naruto as he skipped towards her. He barreled through the ear like a bullet and swung his leg. However, she caught him and swung him around. However, Naruto stomped his hands on the ground as Naruto used his right leg to slam right in her face. Fu staggered back as Naruto moved in, until her head flipped back as she grinned and slammed a punch in his stomach. As Naruto grabbed her arm though, and pulled her in, he then wrapped both arms around her and lifted her up, before jumping as he slammed her right on top of her head. While he tried to, she had bent her legs so her head would not receive the full force. She then twirled, causing the both of them to spin, as she then stomped her foot in the ground and blasted them in mid-air. Naruto was surprised as he looked around. That is when he noticed strange things on her back. She gripped him tight, as Naruto felt his bones creaking, which made him smile. She then turned upside down and spun, wings on her back spinning with incredible force. She then brought him down and released him. Naruto's head smashed into the ground, breaking through it. His body was sticking up, his legs dangling in mid-air. Fu rushed forward as she slammed her hands down on the ground. A gigantic earth dragon rose up. It opened its mouth and shot forward as it barreled into him. Naruto was blasted through several rock formations as the thing crushed down upon him. Fu did not waste any time though, as she opened her mouth, releasing, hiding in dust powder technique. The substance made connection with Naruto's eyes as he gripped his eyes and howled out in pain. Fu then rushed forward as she gripped her hand. She then formed an earth spear. She held it like a lance as she flew forward, ready to impale him. However, at the last possible second, his eyes shot open. Fu was baffled and shocked. That was impossible. That is when she noticed his eyes were dim. It was like there was something shading his eyeballs, something protecting his eyes from being affected by her technique. He smashed his fist right in the earth spear, destroying it. He then gripped her by the throat and jumped. He then proceeded to slam her into the ground. Fu cried out as her bat made contact. He then lifted her head and bashed it once again. Picking her and throwing her up, Naruto kicked her away. She slammed several times on the ground before slamming into the wall. Fu dropped down to one knee as she coughed up blood. She slowly picked herself up once again. This is not right. The amount of hit that she gave in even from the dragon. How is he still standing there? Why is he not badly wounded, she wondered to herself. Damn it. I need your help, she said. She needed to finish this and soon, because she's just gonna wear herself out. She heard a voice in her head. It's about time you ask. Now kill him. Immediately her body was enveloped by red chakra, as her wound slowly started to heal, as a tail sprung up behind her, followed by another. This was the first stage of transformation for her. Two flowing tails were behind her, waving lazily. As her eyes fixated on him, they were no longer the same. As her eyes were just completely red, no pupil, nothing at all, they were just red. The wings behind her started to buzz so fast that they were almost invisible to the naked eye. As Fu then shot forward, her speed far preceding what it was a moment ago, as her fist was outstretched to take his head off with one blow. However, to her shock and amazement, his eyes was trailing her. That was impossible. His body seemed to loosen as Fu watched as he brought his arms up. She slammed her fist into his guard. To her shock though, there was nothing that broke. That is when she noticed strange bones that protruded from his arms that had taken the full brunt of her hit and seemed to absorb the shock wave. The bones were incredibly durable. They were able to tank her hit. As Naruto then brought his hand up and sliced her. However, her wound healed almost instantaneously. Fu did not stop though as she sunk her other foot into the ground. Her heel then smashed on his shoulder. She then gripped him by the neck before he could hit the ground. She then turned him and wrapped her arm around his neck as she tried to snap his neck right there and then. She had been trained in the art of killing several hundreds ways to end the opponent's life. As she tried to snap his neck, something burst right through her back. Looking down, she saw that his elbow was protruding a bone that had ripped right through her back. She still tried to apply pressure, but another from his other elbow slammed and burst through her. This time she was forced to release him though. Fu then realized something. "What's wrong with me?" she said. As a tail beast chakra, "What are you doing?" "I'm not the one doing this," she heard in her mind. Fu looked up as she saw. "What are you doing to me?" She dropped to one knee as the tail beast chakra was forcefully taken away. As Naruto pointed towards her wound, that is when she noticed strange growth like branches. She grabbed it and ripped it out. She saw the thing pulsating with her tail beast chakra as she looked at it strangely. Before she could question what was that, he buried a fist in her stomach. He then drop kicked her right in the face, blasting her to the wall. That is when footsteps could be heard rushing down as Naruto sped through handstand before, slamming his hand down wood style. Gigantic bars of wood came up, blocking the entrance and the exit, so no one could step inside. Fu was pressed up against the wall as Naruto slowly made his way towards her. It was fun, but it's time to go, he said. As he got close, Fu got up despite the pain and the tail beast chakra being pushed back. She slammed her fist in his face as Naruto turned his head with a blow. Blood started to leak from his lip. Fu did not stop as she punched him once again. She then punched him in the stomach, causing him to step back. She would not go down that easily. However, two bones came from Naruto's wrists. He grabbed them before slicing her across the chest. A huge X was carved into her chest. He was not done though as he sliced her. The slashes could be heard as the bones teared through her flesh. Blood splattered everywhere. Naruto's face was beaming in joy as Fu was crying out in pain. Once he was done, he stomped in her face, throwing her back. Fu could not move as he had cut the tendons in her shoulder. He had sliced the tendons in her legs as well. She could not move as she tried to get up. Whatever that damn thing was, it had suppressed her tail beast power. However, she could feel it returning, but it was too slow to heal her. That is when something slammed right in her chest. Close, but not in her heart. It was a spear of bone. She screamed out as she coughed up blood. Her head slowly lowered as Naruto turned to walk away. That is when he heard noise behind him, as he heard the ninjas fighting to break through the wood stile. However, that was not what concerned him. Glancing behind him, Fu had ripped the thing out. She was on her last leg, as she was barely going on. "No," she said. "I have not even lived. I refuse to be killed by someone like you. Not right here. I haven't even experienced life. I won't lose." She stepped forward only to collapse face first. As Naruto stepped towards her, he created a bone spike from his arm once again, as he raised it to plunder it right through her skull. As he brought it down, "Guess I'm dead," she said. "At least you'll be free, Komi," she said. "At least one of us can have a life outside of here." As she could barely make out what her tail beast was saying to her. But she didn't feel anything. She supposed this is what death was like. After all, there wouldn't be any more pain after the suffering. That is when she felt something in her chest. Her eyes snapped open as she saw the guy sitting beside her. Fu looked towards him strangely, as he was humming a tune with his eyes closed. What are you doing?" She then watched as he went down to her wound and started to pluck out the seedlings that he planted inside of her. Fu then saw it. That is what was stopping her from using the tail beast chakra. This strange... Wait. That was the wood style of the first Hokage, known to suppress tail beast chakra. Granted the seal was on her, it now made sense. He was able to push it back. And she never even noticed. That is why she could not connect with Komi, even in her last moments. But why was he doing this? Why was he healing her? Why are you doing this? He brought his hand out and placed it to her forehead. That is when she felt it, a sensation. A cool, warm sensation, like her body was just being saturated with power, and the power was lulling her to sleep. As Naruto's hand was placed on her wound, something was being transferred from his hand into her wound. Slowly but surely her wound started to heal up. Rather quickly, the hole started to be filled. The blood flow then came to a stop. He then brought his hand up and went through hand sign. 2 wood clones created. You, go and get the water. And you, get her out of here. They nodded as Naruto stepped forward. He pushed his hand into his shirt and pulled out a mask. As it covered his face completely, only his eyes were shown. That is when a healthy blast of pressurized water blast right through, Naruto Wood style. As a squadron, a whole army of ninjas could be seen entering, followed by a man who seemed to be the leader of Taki. He had dull blue hair, dark eyes, as he was wearing a robe that seemed to be for flexibility and also quick movement, despite looked quite elegant. Who are you? He said. And where's that girl? He said, looking around. His man quickly span out. I asked you a question. Who are you? He said, looking towards Naruto. As Naruto was surrounded. Oh, your girl? You mean the lapdog? He asked. The man stepped forward. You're not leaving this place until you spill your guts. However, he did not plan on Naruto leaving anyway. Sneaking in here and no doubt going after the water. He was not gonna leave this place alive. As Naruto simply chuckled, I took her. As he started to laugh. Bring him in, now. And make sure it hurts. He was gonna find that weapon of his one way or another. And whoever this is, he was gonna make sure him and anyone else that came with him knew that they should not step against Taki. His ninjas flooded in. That is when he heard them scream out. He turned his back and looked to see several of his ninjas impale on wooden spikes. So it was no question about it. He was the one with the Mokiton. However, if that was the case, did this mean this attack was from the Hidden Leaf? As Naruto looked around, his eyes looking over the group, they all charged in. From different areas, attacks were thrown. Naruto sped through hand sign before he brought his hand down and slammed it in the earth. He seemed to grip something before ripping it out. It was a vine. However, upon doing that, several vines ripped out of the earth. However, their spikes were immensely sharp. Bodies were skewered as people were sent flying. Skulls were pierced, hearts were ripped out. As all the spikes were sent everywhere, the leader flashed through hand sign before slamming his hand down. Water style, he said. Rushing water wave. Water exploded out of every nearby water source and rushed straight towards Naruto. Seeing the massive column of water coming his way, Naruto sped through hand sign before jumping forward. Crystal release, he said. Petrifying fountain. He slammed his hand forward right into the water the moment contact was made. The leader had to jump back as he was nearly skewered. Crystals sprung up everywhere from the water. As it was shooting in all different directions in a frozen state, everyone was shocked. As every ninja that was too close when the water had came out, coming from a small little puddle at their legs, turned into crystals that stabbed right through their foot. As Naruto stood there, a grin on his face. Now, he said, crystal release, showering spears. He slammed his hand down as the thing broke. The broken pieces shot out like projectiles. The leader spewed water out of his mouth, destroying the ones that came towards him and his man. But he could not save the ones that were a distance away from him. Upon doing that, Naruto looked up towards the heavens. His eyes became completely red. Naruto could see everything. This bloodline generated from Kekkei. It was similar towards the Byakugan. However, it was red with a small black dot in the middle. The dojutsu grant the wielder several abilities that revolve around extrasensory perception, including viewing and hearing events from vast distance away and clearly seen through obstructions. It can also see chakra pathways and picking up chakra from undefined distances. The dojutsu has the ability to counter another visual prowess, as it can completely hinder ability to see chakra and individual abilities. To overcome genjutsu, it can also perform elaborate genjutsu that will be able to deceive sensory ninjas. It can also allow one to hide their chakra pathways or fabricate multiple chakra pathways to trick sensory ninjas, doing this by creating a red dust around the individual self or their target. Whether the individual has heightened perception and analytical powers to uncover and discover hidden details. Naruto can also detect changes in an individual chakra and also see someone's life force, which he could use to predict the opponent's next move or find out if they're alive. He can also transfer some of his own life force into someone who is on the verge of death and heal them. Yes, it was a very powerful dojutsu. The clan that it was once hailed from was wiped out some time ago. There was only a few members left in the world, probably around a handful. It was said that Reiga had a boy with him that possessed these eyes. But Reiga had not been seen in a long time since that he was being hunted by Kekkei. As Naruto glanced up as he saw the individual above, he wasted no time though as he blurred through hand signs. Up above as ninjas were scurrying around, making their way. That is when a colossal vine exploded from underneath the ground. Ninjas had to throw themselves out of the incoming way as several of them were pierced, ripped apart. As Naruto kept running as he jumped up on the spikes, the leader shouted, "Do not let him escape! Stop him!" Ninjas were hurling jutsus from every angle as Naruto laughed and dodged and twists before he opened his coat. Upon doing so, Naruto pulled a scroll out and bit his fingers to wipe his blood across it. Once he did that, explosive tags started raining out. As Naruto sent his chakra out like a beacon, they were all activated. The leader's eyes widened as he blurred through hand sign, gathering up all the water from the surrounding area and the small lake that ran through the village. He created a giant protective barrier over the village, while the section where they were coming from. A colossal explosion went off, as everyone had to throw themselves down to the ground. As some areas were destroyed, however, the leader made sure to hold it up as he pushed the water upwards, pushing back the gigantic blast. Once the blast had subsided, he looked around to see nothing but smoke and destruction. The man was furious, beyond angry. There was only one village that he knew with the chance of awakening the Mokiton once again, and that was Konoha. But would Hiruzen dare to do something like this? The man who preached about peace and creating a sense of peace between nations. However, for the sake of his village and the sake of his sanity and the safe return of his weapon, he needed to find out what the hell was going on and who was that damn forsaken child. There was no doubt that the person was young, given from the way they talk and their height. How could a child cause this much destruction? Just what the hell was going on, he raged. Hours later, Fu slowly started to stir. The first thing she picked up on was smell. She smelled something cooking. That is when she opened her eyes. She screamed and jumped away. Naruto screamed out laughing as there was an animal head right in front of her face, which Naruto had found. Fu pressed herself up against the small cave that they were in. Looking around, she saw him as she saw a fire with meat on stick cooking. As Naruto laughed some more, holding his stomach. I just knew that would be funny, he said. The look on your face, it was priceless. Fu checked her chest. That is when she noticed the wound was gone. Just a freshly covered skin. Completely healed. Komi, she said in her mind. It's alright. I can speak to you now. However, whatever you do, don't let him get you with that bastard. Mokitan Jutsu again. It is what the first Hokage used to subdue all Ostale beasts. It seems that this individual here has it as well. Be careful. He doesn't seem stable in the slightest. Why? Said Fu, speaking out loud. Huh? Why am I alive? She said. Why didn't you kill me back then? You want to die? Naruto asks. Of course not. But why did you save me? You had the chance to strike me down. I couldn't stop you. You put those things inside me, weakening me. So tell me why. Why am I alive? I want a friend, said Naruto. You want a friend? Fu looked at him like he was crazy. You saved my life, someone that you tried to kill because you think, after this we're gonna become friends. Yep, said Naruto. Oh, I see. You're truly crazy, she said to him. Nope, not crazy. Well, people called me crazy before, but I always kill them after they do so. Maybe you're right, but I'm a well-rounded, adjusted individual. Well, not completely, but I believe so, said Naruto. Who are you? She said. Oh, my name is Naruto. Nice to meet you. He held out his hand. Oh, I see. You don't want to shake my hand seeing that I tried to kill you, so... Well, I'm not surprised, he said to her. But don't worry. I won't hurt you from here on out, okay? Well, as long as you be my friend. And if I say no... Oh, that's easy. I'll kill you, said Naruto. Fu looked towards him. He was really psychotic. The way he spoke, the way he carried himself. He might look defenseless now that he was eaten and look like a child, but she could tell. He would kill her in a heartbeat if he need to. So that's why you saved me. You spared my life because you wanted a friend, she said. Yep, and what you said as well. What I said? Yeah, you said you didn't want to die like that. You haven't explored the world. So I saved you to bring you out here so you can explore the world. She started to laugh. As Naruto started to laugh with her, she looked towards him. This isn't a joke, you stupid brat, she said. Brat? You're just a year older than me. And you're an idiot. I'm a Jinjulki, you fool. My village would stop at nothing to get me back. They will hunt you down and rip you apart. Not to mention, we will be hounded by other nations because of what I will. You don't have to worry about that, said Naruto. If any of them try, I'll rip them apart with my teeth. As he grinned, showing off extra long canines. Fu shook her head as she leaned against the wall. Just leave me alone, she said. You're just putting the both of us in danger. That is when Naruto was in front of her. She blinked and looked up. He's so fast, she thought. She prepared herself as she thought he was about to attack. However, he patted her on the head. There, he said. Everything's gonna be alright. What are you doing? She said. I saw people do this when others are sad. So I'm patting you on the head to make you know that everything's gonna be alright. She slapped his hand away, making Naruto laugh. I love how feisty you are. You remind me of Teiwaya. But you're not that afraid of me, like how she is. She's even afraid to be seen with me for a couple of minutes. And I don't like that. Or maybe I do. I don't know, he said. Are you insane? Fu asked. Why does everyone keep on saying that? I'm not. Look, said Naruto as he sat beside her. He snudged up beside her as she pushed away. As he simply smiled. You said that you want to explore the world. Who better than me to show you the world? Why you? She said. Because I am not tethered to anything. The only person I show much respect in this world is my father. And he doesn't have a problem with me going out and do as I please, as long as I don't get into that much trouble. But I can see it in your eyes, said Naruto as he looked towards her. Besides, they treat you like a dog. They call you the guard dog at that place. So screw them. In fact, if you want, I can go back there and kill them all. Fu looked into his eyes and she could tell that he was deadly serious. However, she did not answer his question. So come on, just come with me, said Naruto. I can give you a better life, and besides, I can get a lot of money for the both of us. And we can go to hotels and enjoy a spa. Do you know what a spa is? Said Naruto. Of course I do, she said. I've just never been to one before. Oh, you're gonna love it, said Naruto. You see these ladies? They take care of your feet and your hands, and they also give you massage. And you can order as much food as you want, as long as you give them money. You get everything you want. And you can stay there for days on end. I like to relax when I'm not on any missions, so I'll take you there to be pampered. I know that the village that you was before in did not give you these luxuries. So why don't you come with me? I'll treat you like a queen. I once read this book with a king and his queen. Why don't you be my queen? Fu looked towards him. What exactly are you asking me? To be my queen, said Naruto. We can go around doing anything that we like. However, you'll have to accompany me on missions that father send us on so we can go and kick asses. I saw it on your face when we were fighting. Every blow that you threw, you tried to kill me. You have no problem with killing. In fact, you enjoy it, don't you? Fu looked away as Naruto poked her in the cheek. She slapped his hand away. As Naruto chuckled, I knew it. You enjoy killing. I do as well. This world has wronged you, I can see that. So why not make the world suffer? Despite if your village is the one that wronged you, let's make the world pay, said Naruto. Let's kill who we like, take what we want, and do whatever we want, not giving a damn about the consequences. If we die one day, we die, as long as we know we enjoy our life. Besides, I would have killed you back then, but your life is now spared. So, I am ordering you to enjoy your life. What do you say? Fu was quiet as she thought about everything that he just told her. He was not wrong. The things that she never got to explore, she was never going to explore them if she went back to Taki. For God's sake, she was 14 and she never even kissed a boy before. Never even hugged or held hands with a boy before. She never went to a spa. She never enjoyed good food. The food that they gave her was okay, but nothing luxurious. She never went to a hotel. She never do anything extravagant. She was just stuck as their guard dog. And now this person who spared her life, yes, he was going to kill her, but she was going to kill him as well. As he was right, she was going to take his head off. Every blow that she sent was a killing blow. She had suffered so much in her life that a part of her had twisted the idea of feeling relief is to cause pain to others, and she enjoyed doing that. And being around this individual, she felt like she might turn into something too dark. However, the temptation was so enlightening. What should I do? She said to Komi. Well, if you go back now, they will punish you for losing and being taken. And I'm sure the treatment will be worse. And you know that is something I'm against. But there, I wasn't able to protect you and this boy right here. He could have killed you. However, he spared your life. And now you've been given a second chance. He's right. This world is full of destruction, crime, and conflicts. It's better you live. Something that you never got the chance to do. Live. Be happy. As much as this guy seemed to be psychotic, he has a good grasp on life to live. And enjoy your days. Remember, you're a Jinchuriki. Sooner or later, there will come a time where you have to fight for your life. So why not be happy? Fu sighed. He was right. The both of them were. She was cut off as something was stuffed in her mouth. She blinked as she found herself chewing. Nice, isn't it? I think of myself as something as a chef. I watch the people at the restaurant cook a lot. And I did what they did. Although I didn't have the spices and herbs, but I did the best I could. She sighed. At least he cooled the meat before stuffing it in her damn mouth. That's not how you ask someone to taste your food. Oh, sorry about that, said Naruto. I didn't mean any harm. She saw in his eyes he clearly did not. She wondered if he was just psychotic or if he just did not know any better. Maybe it was a mixture of both. Fine, she said. I'll be your friend. The moment she said that, he hugged her, as his arms wrapped around her in a tight hug. One of her goals had been fulfilled. She was hugged by a boy. Granted, it was a psychotic killer, but still. As Naruto broke apart, we'll be the greatest of friends, he said, taking on the world together. Nothing will be able to stop us. If you say so, she said, as her stomach then grumbled. Looks like someone is hungry, he said, as he made his way over towards the fire and picked up one of the sticks. Here, eat up. She took it from him as she looked at him, as he simply eye smiled at her. His face was filled with nothing but joy. What has she gotten herself into? Time skip. Hiruzen sat at his desk as he received a letter from Taki. Reason Arbron, this was not expected in the slightest. As Hiruzen read over the reports, Taki leader had made sure to leave out the capturing of their Jinjuliki. Despite what happened, the village would look incredibly weak if, well, that was notified by the public. After all, there were other minor villages like Land of Grass, the Land of Swamps, several villages that did not possess a tail beast, and Taki had the advantage over them because they had the 7 tails, because of their little problem with Hoshirama back in the past, which allowed them to gain one upon the man because of his kind nature, and that also led them to exile Kakazu as well. And with him stealing the formula to their secret jutsu and slaughtering every head of the council back then, well, that was a lot. But they've been through so much and they had their Jinjuliki, and yet, now, Hiruzen was shocked. Taki was accusing Konoha. He did not say that formally in the letter, but from the way the man wrote it. However, Hiruzen realized something. It was the same boy. The one that Kakashi had went up against, who named Naruto. However, in this, the boy seemed to possess multiple Kekkei Genkais. Now for certain, Hiruzen knew that this boy had something to do with Orochimaru. He was the only person that Hiruzen could think of who would be able to do something like this, who had a sick, twisted mind to use a child like this. While that was going on, Danzo had an agent kneeling in front of him as the man handed over information. Danzo always liked to be on top of things to find out what is going on. However, someone was out there causing some problems and he did not know until now. The person that went up against Taki. He did not do much investigations in the person with the Mokiton after the mission with Kakashi. After all, Danzo was able to gather information quickly, because he could not find the person, but now this person that went up against Taki. And from what he could be able to discover with his spies, his people that were on the inside, the Jinjuliki was gone. Someone stole the 7 tails. Danzo had his eye on the 7 tails. Hoshirama was a soft man, nothing like his brother Tobirama. Danzo believed that he should take the Jinjuliki away from Taki and return it back to Konoha, but he could not do that now in these peaceful times, as he might start something. However, he was planning for the future, but it seems like someone beat him to it. However, Danzo had absolutely no idea who this person was. However, there was one person that came to mind, one sick, twisted person with these ideals to make someone like that. Orochimaru. Speaking of said man, Orochimaru looked towards Naruto. Beside Naruto, the girl stood, as she looked a bit uneasy with the surrounding area. Fu had been brought into a dark, secretive area, as Naruto told her everything was going to be fine. That is when she lay eyes on the snake Sanin. Of course she knew about him, he was one of the legendary Sanins. And she heard Naruto said before, father. This man was his father? The only thing that had any similarities between them was Naruto's skin that looked a bit more pale than usual, but that wasn't that bad, and his small golden eyes. Granted, his eyes have blue in the center, but the golden rims around it. Orochimaru's eyes were golden and black with a slit in the middle, and his hair was red. She didn't understand that, it made no sense. Maybe he got the features from his mother, but he looked like he was put together by different genetics. What have you done? Orochimaru said. As Naruto handed the man the sacred waters, Orochimaru took them and placed on the table. Who is this? Orochimaru asked. Her name is Fu, said Naruto. She contained the 7 tails. She's a Jinjuliki. Orochimaru's eyes widened. Naruto, what did I tell you to do? He asked. To bring the water. However, I met a new friend, said Naruto, and she's now on our side. Orochimaru was not pleased by this. Naruto had just brought a person, no, not just any person, a Jinjuliki into his hideout. And knowing Naruto, once he trusts someone as his friend, there was not much that he would not tell them. However, if they ever betrayed him, he would not stop until he slaughtered that person in the most harmless and dangerous way possible. What have I told you about bringing people here without my authorization? I know that, father, but the situation is complicated. She was not treated properly at her last home, so I invite her to come here. I promise, she's on our side. Tell him. He's right, said Fu. She was afraid. This man was a very scary and dangerous man, and she was afraid. I've accepted this role and joined Naruto. I'm not here to cause any problems, she said to him, as she did not look him in the eyes. Orochimaru's golden slitted eyes were focused so intently that Fu started to squirm. Come on, father, don't be so harsh, said Naruto. Naruto, that's enough, Orochimaru said. I've warned you about this before. This is not the first or second time you've done this, and the last 2 times you had to kill your so-called friend. Don't you remember? Yeah, but they were not real friends, but Fu. She won't betray me, she promised. Tell him, Fu. As Fu nodded her head, not just in her voice, because she was afraid that it might squeak. Orochimaru stepped forward dangerously, as Naruto stepped in front of Fu. Immediately, Orochimaru was reminded by Kabuto's words that Naruto could not be controlled. Once he found it in his best interest, he would attack and kill everyone here. What are you doing? Orochimaru said. I'm afraid I must insist that you do not harm her, father. I promised her that she would be okay. So, please, don't harm her. You insist, Orochimaru said. Yeah, because if you do, I won't go on any more missions for you. You're willing to betray me for that girl. Me, Orochimaru said. The one who brought you in this world. Betray? No, I just won't go on any missions. But just don't hurt her and everything will be alright. Orochimaru appeared behind Naruto and grabbed Fu by the back of the neck, a snake quickly wrapping around her body to trap her in place, as a snake fang was right at her throat. Now listen here, Orochimaru said. When I gave you an order, you're supposed to follow it through. I do not expect any retaliation or you going against my word. And you insist. When I say do something, you must, Orochimaru said. Kabuto was right in certain areas. He needed to make sure Naruto knew who was in charge. He was not going to harm the girl. He would just make sure that she would not be a threat, thus giving away his information and location. However, Naruto was a problem here. Orochimaru knew that Kabuto was right, but his mind never wanted to accept it. Naruto did not have that much sympathy for anyone. Even if he might show respect for him now, that could change, but Orochimaru could not allow that to change until he get what he wants. However, the place started to shake, as Fu struggled in her bindings until she realized the whole place was shaking. As Naruto's eyes narrowed dangerously on the snake Sanin, Orochimaru's eyes narrowed back as he looked at his son. The both of them looking at each other with an intense, malicious gaze. Orochimaru started to release his bloodlust. However, Naruto did not move, nor did he flinch. As he released his own, the whole place started to rumble, as the walls started to crack. Spiderweb cracks started to appear on the walls. That is when strange markings started to gather from Naruto's chest, extending towards his arms. Black markings that started to twist across his body. However, he released a breath. The markings receded. I promise, he said, releasing his bloodlust. I won't do it again. But don't hurt her, said Naruto. I won't bring anyone else here, but she will be staying and she will be my friend. She promised that she will not betray me. I'll take full responsibility. And I won't do it again. Just leave her alone, said Naruto. Orochimaru released his bloodlust as he looked down towards Naruto. Next time when I give you something to do, do not do otherwise, you understand me, he said. Yes, father, said Naruto. As slowly Fu was released, as she stepped away from the man jumping behind Naruto. Orochimaru did not bat an eye towards her. As long as you follow what I say, we won't have any disagreements, understood? Alright, said Naruto, his cheery mood returning. I won't do it again, okay? As Orochimaru smiled towards him, good, he said. Now leave. I have some business to take care of. Come on, Fu, said Naruto, let's go. Fu was shocked by that. A moment ago it seemed that the both of them were about to throw down, until Naruto calmed down so easily. How was he able to flip his switch that easily to become so calm? Fu found it rather strange. As she followed behind Naruto, she glanced towards Orochimaru. However, she noticed something on the Sanin's face. He seemed to be a bit worried. She didn't say anything though as she made her way. Once they were out of the room, "Hey," she said, "is everything okay?" "Of course," said Naruto. "What's wrong?" "Well, you and him seemed like you were about to fight a moment ago and then you just calmed down." As Naruto waved her off, "Oh, I wasn't going to fight my father. I was just getting a bit mad. But then I remember when I do get mad, I try to kill everything. So I might have ended up killing you in the process, so I calmed down," said Naruto. "Besides, he's my father. I love my father very much, and he loved me too. So I won't try to fight him," said Naruto. "But he just does not like new people find out about his hideout. So remember, promise not to tell anyone, alright?" I promise," she said. "Alright then," said Naruto. "Come on, let's get something to eat." "No, I'll make you something," said Naruto. "You can be my taster." "Why? Plan to be a chef in the future?" she asked in a sarcastic tone. "A chef? I never thought of it. Maybe I'll open up a restaurant here in the Land of Sound." "I was just kidding, you know that, right?" "Yes, I know. But it's a good idea," said Naruto. As he pulled her hand along, Fu was happy. Yes, it was strange, but she was happy. Despite almost dying a couple of times now, and have her life threatened by Orochimaru himself, she was happy. If she was back home, she would be stuck underground, with nothing to do but guard the secret water, and people humiliating her every time she was seen, calling her guard dog a beast. So she was happy, as she was dragged along. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was not pleased in the slightest. Naruto had, slowly over the years, started to disobey him in a sense of the word. The more he explored the outside world, the more he started to stay longer on his missions even after they were completed. Orochimaru knew that the time that it took him, he should arrive a long time before the time that he showed up, but no. He went to do other things. And now, he had shown off several of his abilities to Taki. Granted, he was wearing a mask, but there was no doubt that Taki would investigate this and try to speak to Konoha about it because of the Mokiton. And then, Konoha would know that he was the one that faced off against the ninjas. While this was good for Orochimaru because Konoha would be distracted wondering who he was. He hadn't wanted Naruto to reveal so much of himself yet, especially to Taki. He didn't want so much to be out there, except for Konoha knowing about him, not the other nations. But over the years, Naruto started to become rebellious. Although every child went through a phase like that, but he was not a normal child. Orochimaru had trained him to make sure that he listened to everything that he says. But slowly over the years, that has been watering down. He had to make sure that he reinforced that commandment to make sure that Naruto does as he says, and keep an eye on that girl as well. For now, he would not try to harm her, but she can be incredibly useful. Taki would never receive her back. Well, plans were already brewing in his mind. But he needed to make sure that Naruto was kept in check as well, until his time was ready. Orochimaru then made his way off. Time skip. "What the hell are you doing in my room?" said Teiwaya as she saw Naruto going through her clothes. "Oh, hi there," said Naruto. "I asked you a question. What are you doing here? I'm going through my things." "Oh, you weren't here, so I thought I might just, well, take what I came for." "What?" she said. "Pervert." "Pervert? Oh no, it's not that. I got a new friend, you see. Her name is Fu. And her clothes that she fought me in got ruined, so I figured that she can use some of yours." "Did I tell you that you can do that?" "Well, not really," said Naruto. "But here," as he pulled out money and gave it to her. "Let's just say I buy them from you with this." As Naruto looked towards Teiwaya and placed the money on the table before keeping rummaging through her clothing. He then found something. "This is perfect," he says. He jumped back up as he started to leave until she stepped in front of him. "Next time, don't go through my things," she said. "Or else." As Naruto tilted his head to the side. "Or else?" As he stepped towards her, Teiwaya stepped back. She was so used to threatening the ninjas in here. For a moment there, it seemed like she forgot who she was talking to. As Naruto's smile seemed to brighten even more when his eyes went down towards her neck. However, his eyes traveled back towards her eyes. That made her feel a shiver run down her spine. "Don't worry," he said, "we're friends. So don't try to threaten me," said Naruto. "After all, I didn't try to threaten you. Alright?" As he patted her on the shoulder. "See you soon," as he ran out. Once he was gone, she felt herself taking in several deep breaths, more than necessary. She looked towards her hand that was shaking. He still scared the living shit out of her. Meanwhile, as Fu was eating, she had to say, for someone that was a year younger than her, he's a lot better cook than her. After all, she didn't know how to cook crap. "I'm back," said Naruto as he brought her the clothing. "Here." Fu looked at the red clothing. "Well, I'm not much for the color red." "So you don't like my hair then?" said Naruto. "No, I think it's hideous." Her tone was bland. However, she was seemingly joking. Fu didn't have that much experience with talking to people her own age, so she didn't know how to express herself that well. "I'm joking," she said. "Oh," said Naruto. "You hurt my feelings there. But it's alright, seeing that you're joking." "Well, I really don't like red that much, as you can see. I like the color white," she said. "You're gonna have to wait then," said Naruto. "I'll take you out and we'll get some real clothing for you, alright?" "Okay," she said. "What's wrong?" said Naruto. "It's just, you're being so nice. We just tried to kill each other some time ago and yet..." As Naruto waved her off, "That's all in the past, we're friends now. And besides, friends don't hurt one another or betray one another. So, feel free to try and kill me again if I try to betray you. And if you betray me, I'll cut you up into tiny pieces, alright?" Fu's sweat dropped at that. She could tell that he was not joking in the slightest. As Naruto walked over towards her and sat down, but she signed up for this. She might as well ride it out. It was a lot better than being in that damn dungeon. That's for sure. "Yeah, you're right. Friends don't betray one another. So don't betray me," she said. "And don't try to kill me. Can you promise me that?" she asked. "Because you're not exactly stable." "I promise," said Naruto as he extended his hand. "Let's not betray each other." She took his hand. As they shook hands, as Naruto smiled, which made her smile as well. This was a sick, twisted friendship, but it was the first and best one that she ever had. Strange. What a screwed up life she'd live. But guys, be and subscribe right here. For what's the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.